Can you talk to me about practicing a grid for money? I feel I'm pretty good at focusing on things that you talked the first man about, talking about things that are going well in your life. I feel like I'm good at, I can focus on those things. I'm not quite getting the money flowing in the way.
But you see, you're practicing a grid about money every time you say, I don't have enough.
Okay, yeah.
That's practicing a grid.
Yes. So I'd like to start a new grid in that direction. Yeah.
We think that's a good idea.
Can you help me with that?
So here's the thing that's so interesting. Once you've been practicing something, isn't it annoying when someone acknowledges that your perspective is off, and you acknowledge that your perspective is off, but law of attraction is holding you to your off perspective? Law of attraction is really an interesting thing, because as you have a vibration going, it's bringing you things that shore up that vibration. So sometimes it feels like you just can't get there from there, because you just feel the way you feel. And because you feel the way you feel, then law of attraction brings you stuff that feels like the way you feel. And so then you say, well, I wish law of attraction would stop bringing me stuff that feels the way I feel. And we say, then you got to feel differently. You said, I would if law of attraction would stop bringing me stuff that makes me feel the way I feel. But how can I feel differently than I feel? And we say, well, the first step is wanting to feel differently. But the most important steps you've already taken here tonight by acknowledging that it's vibration that you want to focus upon, not money. You see, we're talking about law of attraction. We're talking about you achieving a vibration. And we're talking about that vibration causing you to be at a frequency that makes you realize things. Where do you think good ideas come from? Where do you think the impulse to apply comes from? Where do you think your skills come from? Your intuition, where does that come from? Where does your flexibility come from? Where does your agility come from? Where does your strength come from? Where does your energy come from? Where does your clarity come from? It's all coming from that broader non-physical perspective that is you see. And so what we want to do is change this subject of financial currency into the subject of vibrational currency, of which all of you are really, really, really incredibly abundant, you see. We want to hear someone come to this hot seat and say, Abraham, I accept that I have access to never-ending vibration, and I mean to see to it, to tap into that vibrational frequency. In other words, if you could talk about vibration just for a little while instead of money, do you believe that you are a vibrational being?
Yes.
Do you believe that you are an extension of this source energy?
Yes.
Do you believe that anyone is holding you apart from any of that? In other words, or do you believe that it's something that you might be doing that might be disallowing it? But it's vibration that we want to talk about rather than money. So let's talk about vibration. You're sick of it already, aren't you? Let's talk about how can you speak of vibration in physical human terms? What kind of words would be appropriate when you're talking about vibration? Emotions. Emotions are the only words that explain what you're doing vibrationally. So if you want to practice yourself into a place where you've got never-ending vibrational frequency to spend, you want to have conversations about how you feel. So just give us a little bit of dialogue about how life feels.
Life feels great. I see a lot of things through the eyes of Source.
Yeah, great. That's a really good word, great. It is. Great meaning, I feel great. I feel great. Give us more words. Great. We're not making fun at all. We think great. I feel great. Meaning
ease.
Ease?
Yeah.
Ease. I feel ease. How so?
I have a lot of things come to me that I want. I have a lot of things flowing into me. I get to do a lot of things that I want.
There's evidence of vibration flowing for you.
Lots of evidence.
Yeah. Give us some examples of that.
I have more Abraham material than I can possibly listen to. comes quite easily.
And the funny thing is, it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over.
I have, good food, lots of fun things I like to do, I get to do, a good place to live. I have a part-time job which I enjoy, which is fun. I get a lot of freedom. I get to go to the beach a lot.
We're reaching for more emotional words.
Okay.
Just a few more emotional words. When I'm at the beach, I feel
confident, feel alive, I feel
confidence, a really
secure.
Good word. Why? Why do you feel confident?
I feel connection. I feel connected to my inner being.
And how does it play out in your experience? What do you mean? How are you cashing in on that?
How am I cashing? What do you mean?
What's that vibration that you're describing in the emotional terms of ease and great and confident? How are you spending that vibrational currency?
Enjoyment.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you following what we're getting at? So, you go to the beach a lot?
Yep.
And when you're there, you experience, you see beautiful things.
Yes.
You get in the water.
Yes.
Feel good on your skin.
Yeah.
What do you do in the water?
I usually go running along the beach and swimming.
So, how does that invigorating, empowering, revitalizing experience play out in terms of your sense of well-being? You feel abundant in that?
Yes.
You feel abundant in the beauty of that beach? You feel abundant in the rhythm of your body? You feel exhilarated in the expression of life here and now? Who collects the toll for the sun? Who collects the toll for the beauty of the beach? Who do you pay to keep that surf coming? It's not a financial thing, is it? It's a well-being thing that is just coming to you. It's a vibrational currency that you are spending.
Well, that's part of my question is, I have no problem with receiving well-being. I have so much well-being, but you were talking about focusing on well-being, get off the topic of money, and that's one of the ways for money to come. It's like the one piece that hasn't come in yet. There's so many other things that flow in.
We're just going to give you a powerful statement. We make this statement a lot. And as it settles in, and then when we come back from segment of refreshment, we'll chew more on this subject of shoring up your financial abundance vibration. But the statement that we want to make to you is that it doesn't matter what someone is wanting, whether it's a pile of money or a relationship or a circumstance or an event. Everything that everyone wants is because they believe they will feel better in the having of it. So it's all for the emotional response to the experience of it. If you can conjure the emotional responses and leave out the how and the where and the when and the what and the who, just conjure by observing your life experience and the beauty of it as it is. What happens is you begin activating this vibration of well-being, and you do it so chronically. Now, you see, you think you're doing it all the time, and you are doing a good job of it. All of you are to some extent. But when there's something that you want, like money, and you've decided that it's not coming in the abundance that you want it to, you get this vibrational practice going, and without meaning to, you keep perpetuating it just with your normal day-to-day conversation about it. So you really have to stop talking about money altogether, because every time you talk about it, all you do is activate it right where it is. So it's like you're holding it apart from you by your very attention to it. It feels backwards from what our physical friends think that they ought to be able to do, because it feels like if there's something that I want, that I should just dig in and go after it. But the thing is, when you dig in and go after it and you continue to practice the vibration, it's like we like to liken the cork that's floating on the surface of the water. When you hold it under the water, that's what negative emotion is. When you let go of it, it will bob back up to the surface. So every time you're talking about money, you're holding it under the water. That's really the point that we want to make with you. Every time you're talking about it, you're holding it under the water. When you talk about the surf, you let go of the cork. When you talk about the sun, you let go of the cork. When you talk about your physical vitality, you let go of the cork. And this is the thing, we will come back to it again. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1 is you've asked, you've already done that. You don't have to keep talking about money. You don't have to keep asking for money. You've already asked, and there's more that's been amassed than we have any way of actually describing to you. You don't have to keep talking about money, and in fact, when you do, you hold the cork under the water. Step 2 is it's already been amassed. So step 3 is you got to find some way to let it flow to you, and the way to let it flow to you is by no longer talking about money, because when you talk about money, you stop it from flowing. So your friends are saying, how are you doing? Doing really good. How's that money thing going? Don't want to talk about that. Why not? Because everything's going really well for me. Everything going really well for you? Yeah, everything's going really well for me. Even the money, don't want to talk about that. Why? Because everything's going really well for me. Everything's going really well for you? Yeah, everything's going really well for me. How's the money thing? Don't want to talk about that. We know that it feels absurd, but the thing that we really want you to feel, you've got a vibration going on that you've just got to find some way of making an end run around it. Most people say, give me what I want, and then when I observe it, I will feel better. And we say, for sure, for sure, for sure. But you got to feel better before it can come. You got to feel better. You've been studying deliberate creation for too long. You've been listening to us talking too much. In other words, you've been working too hard. You're applying it too specifically. You're trying too hard. If we could somehow help you to see that it's right there ready to flow to you, right there ready to flow to you, and the only thing that is keeping it from flowing to you is that you're saying it's not flowing to me.
That's what I asked you at the start, is can you help lay some sort of grid, do some sort of process?
We're going to take segment of refreshment because we are well over time here. And when we come back from segment of refreshment, we'll talk about this endlessly. Good time for a segment of refreshment.
Thank you.